Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you all are fine with your family at home. I am also fine. Here I am Kamrun Nahar, Assistant Teacher of National Ideal English Version School, Day Shift. My dear students, today I am going to take a Bangladesh and Global Studies class for the students of class 8. Today we will discuss lessons 7 and 8 from chapter 1. And the name of this chapter is Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bangladesh. All of you can take your book and go to lesson 7 and 8. And today we will know about the Renaissance in Bengal and the formation of Pakistan. Let's start our class. Now look, chapter 1, Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bengal, lessons 7 and 8. Renaissance in Bengal and emergence of the state of Pakistan. So this is the name of this topic, Renaissance in Bengal and the emergence of the state of Pakistan. So what is Renaissance in Bengal? At first we will know it. During the colonial age, that means in the 18th century, many schools and colleges were established in this subcontinent, and the people came in touch of modern education, and because of this the common people become aware about their rights or about their society. So there was a reawakening among the common people, or they become conscious now. They question about their age-old tradition or customs or the superstitions. So this reawakening or the awareness is called the Renaissance in Bengal. So now you can ask why the British government established many schools and colleges in this subcontinent. Because the British government wanted to make their ruling system strong, and they wanted to create an educated class who would be loyal to the British government. So with this intention or with this purpose, Warren Hastings established Kolkata Madrasa in 1781, and it is for the Muslims, and the British government wanted to satisfy the Muslims and to create the job opportunities. And with the same intention, Sanskrit College was established in 1791. That is after 10 years of the establishment of Kolkata Madrasa. And dear students, people become inspired and they came in touch with the modern education, and the people questions about their age-old beliefs, and they also stopped the Satida Protha. And we all know that in Satida Protha, the widow was burnt alive with her dead husband, which was very cruel. So it was stopped, and the widow marriage was introduced during this period. And there was many social reformers who worked to reform their society, and among them Sir William Carey, who was a missionary, was a pioneer in composing Bengali grammar, and he set up printing machines, published newspapers and prepared school textbooks. So we can't deny his contribution in our Bengali literature or in our Bengali Renaissance. And then Kolkata University was established in 1857 as a seat for higher education and research. And later in 1821, a printing press at Srirampur was established, and as a result the people of Bengal could print their books and could spread the knowledge of education. Now the people become aware and they become more conscious about their society, and they started questions about the injustice of the British government. They also criticized themselves, that means they criticized the injustice of the society. So now the people become aware of their society and the prejudices of the customs of the society. And many people try to create opinion in different issues. Among them, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar were the society reformers. They were noteworthy. And during this period, Bengali language and literature were developed. And who developed? Bengali language and literature were developed by Vidyasagar, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Michael Madhusudan Datta and Rabindranath Tagore. And Mir Mosharraf Hossain, Sharachandra Chattopadhyay also influenced the people through their writings. So, these peoples are called social reformers because they influence the common people through their writings and they change the views or the outlooks of the educated people or the common people also. Now, there was a feelings of patriotism which spread all over the country, and the flourishing of nationalistic feelings inspired by patriotism is a hallmark of modern education during colonial rule. So, because of the modern education, people became patriotic and they had a very strong nationalistic feelings. On that moment, Bengal was a very large. Eastern Bengal, Western Bengal, Bihar and Orissa constituted the Greater Bengal. So, the British government wanted to divide the Bengal in two provinces for the sake of the good governance. So, and in 1903, British Viceroy Lord Curzon proposed that Bengal would be divided into two provinces for the sake of exercising good governance. But many educated people had a doubt in the decision of this British government. They suspect that the British government wanted to divide the Muslims and the Hindus. That means they wanted to make a bridge in the communal harmony of the between the Muslims and the Hindus. So, that is why they raised against their they raised their voice against the decision of the partition of the Bengal. And during this period, there was only one communal or political organization, and it was Indian National Congress, and most of the leaders were Hindus of this party. So, the Hindu leaders raised their voice against the partition of the Bengal, and they did not consult with the Muslim leaders regarding these issues. Now, the Muslim leaders felt a need, felt the need of another platform to secure their demands. So, what happened? Let us read. The anti-British movement took its final origin due to the planning of the partition of Bengal in 1905. So, this is the start of the anti-British movement, and in 1906 an organization named Muslim League was formed in Dhaka. Now, the Muslim leaders formed an organization named Muslim League to secure their demand, but the Hindu leaders continued their movement, and there were several movements, among them Swadeshi movement, non-cooperation movement, Swaraj movement and armed revolution grew patriotism among the mass people and united them. So, day by day the bonding became strong among the common people. But the British government was successful to divide the Hindus and the Muslims, and as a result the Indian National Congress was counted as the political group of the Hindus, and Muslim League was known as the political organizations of the Muslims. That means the bondings or the bondings between the Muslims and the Hindus reduced day by day. And in 1940 there was a conference in Lahore And in this conference, I mean, there was a conference of the Muslim League in Lahore, and in this conference, Bengali leader A.K. Fazl Haq placed the formula of dividing India on the basis of a two-nation theory in 1940 in Lahore. And later, India was divided in 1947 on the basis of the two-nation theory of Lahore proposal. That means India got its independence in 1947 on the basis of the two-nation theory of Lahore proposal. The British divided the subcontinent into two-nation theory, and we know that East Bengal became independent from the British as a part of Eastern Pakistan. So, there is India and Eastern and West, I mean Pakistan, and Pakistan has two parts, Eastern and Western. So, what do you think, my dear students? Did the East Bengal get their independence actually? No, we all know that the Pakistani rulers tortured and exploited the people of the East Pakistan. So, what happened? The people of this part, I mean the people of the East Pakistan started their movement against the West Pakistan. And now look, the people of East Bengal had to start their movement again from the 14th August 1947 to achieve independence in the real sense. And when did they get the independence? Finally, they got their independence in 1971 after the Liberation War, and we all know about our Liberation War of Bangladesh. So, after the Liberation War of 1971, the people of East Pakistan actually got their independence. That means, then they have become an independent nation, and they got the name, I mean, what is the name of their country? Bangladesh. That means that means our country. Now we are the people of Bangladesh and we are Bangladeshis. So, this is the story of the formation of the Pakistan state and the renaissance in Bengal. So, my dear students, there is a homework for you, homework number 10. Chapter 1, lesson 7 and 8. There is a question, write down the names of 10 social reformers in Bengal. And where will you get the name of these 10 social reformers? From our lecture. If you go through this lecture, if you watch this lecture carefully, you will know the name of the 10 social reformers and who has a great contribution in the Bengal Renaissance. So, you will write down the 10 names of this of the social reformers. That means, you will write the 10 names of the social reformers who has a great contribution in the Bengal Renaissance. So, my dear students, I hope you have understood our today's topic. Dear students, all of you will submit your homework copies on every Sunday within 8 AM to 4 PM. You will submit it because your SBA, CT and diary marks will be given on the basis of the submission of your homework. So, dear students, all of you study regularly and listen to your parents. So, that is all for today. See you again.